the most important realization you can have is to understand that you have been looking the wrong way for most of your life. Take a moment right now to see what I mean. Imagine yourself in any position that you like, standing, sitting, lying down, whatever is easiest for you to picture. Now look at that mental image of yourself. What you see in this exercise is you always looking away from yourself, always looking outside of yourself. You are facing the wrong way. Now imagine being able to turn around and face the opposite direction. If you could somehow do this, you would be looking inward. We've all been taught to look outside of ourselves for what we need, to search beyond ourselves for power, love, prosperity, health, happiness, and spiritual fulfillment. We've been conditioned to believe that life's riches come from somewhere outside of us, but it's possible to change our perspective from outward to inward. When we do this, we find an energy that we've felt but never really recognized. There is a divine energy within all human beings. This energy fills our entire being and allows us to do everything we do, from thinking to acting. There are two parts to this divine energy. The outer part makes our heart beat, our lungs breathe, and our senses work. It keeps our physical bodies alive. The inner part of this energy is dormant, but it can be awakened. This inner world is bigger than the outer world. Inner joy makes all the happiness we experience through our senses seem insignificant. When you experience the divine light within you directly, it brings a brightness to life that words and pictures can't describe. When you discover your true self, you awaken this hidden inner energy and let it guide your life. This inner force is often called spiritual. When I talk about spirituality and being spiritual, I mean having an attitude towards God and embarking on an inner journey of enlightenment. It's about growing the godlike qualities of love, forgiveness, kindness, and bliss within ourselves. In my view, spirituality isn't about strict beliefs or rules. It's about light and joy and focusing on feeling love and inner happiness, then sharing those feelings with others. I call the journey to discover your true self your sacred quest. You need to start looking inside yourself to understand who you are and why you are here, rather than focusing on the physical world and the things in it. There was a moment in time when you did not exist, the moment before your conception. You were nowhere. Then, in a holy instant, you came from nowhere to now here. There will be another holy instant when you will go from now here to nowhere. We call that moment death. Yet you, the divine, unchanging, eternal, invisible you, will continue to exist. If we are part of an intelligent system, we can assume that we go from nowhere to now here for a purpose. With this understanding, you can stop doubting that you are a divine creation with a purpose and simply accept that you are. You are a part of this intelligent system, and you are here for a divine reason. That reason, you can guess, is related to the spiritual inner energy I am talking about. Knowing your spiritual self is your sacred quest and your life challenge. Many of us have grown up believing that we are our bodies, our jobs, and our religions. Our lives are tied to external things, even though these things are always changing. Yet inside we feel the same. You may not have thought much about this inner self, but if you do, you will find an inner self that never changes but is trapped in a changing world. Someday, your physical body will likely rest beneath a tombstone with the dates of your birth and death. But your inner soul knows you are eternal. Understanding this deeply will greatly help you on your sacred quest. When you realize that your true self is the unchanging part of you, you will live your life with purpose. Sergio Rinpoche, in the Tibetan Book of Living and Dying, expresses something worth remembering. In today's world, few people show the qualities that come from understanding the nature of the mind, so it's hard for us to even imagine enlightenment or how an enlightened person sees things. It's even harder to believe that we could become enlightened ourselves. Even if we consider the possibility of enlightenment, looking at our ordinary minds, filled with anger, greed, jealousy, spite, cruelty, lust, fear, anxiety, and turmoil can make us lose hope. But enlightenment is real, and each of us, whoever we are, can, with the right circumstances and training, understand the nature of the mind and recognize what is deathless and eternally pure within us. This is the promise of all the world's mystical traditions, and it has been fulfilled and is being fulfilled in countless lives. You can be one of those thousands of enlightened people. This will happen as you discover your true self and put aside the part of yourself that focuses on the physical world where it belongs. From there, it can support your higher self instead of acting in ways that undermine your true spiritual essence. This sacred quest is real, and you can understand it, love it, and cherish it. Once you do, you will never want to go back to living in a way that does not match your divine, though invisible, self. You are not just your name, job, social security number, or body. You are eternally light and divine, no matter what you have done or not done, no matter what family you come from or what labels you have been given. You are holy, and you have a purpose for being here. Now, how will you experience your physical life when you face inward and live according to your spiritual self? You will still do everyday tasks, like chopping wood and carrying water, as the ancient Zen proverb says. You won't suddenly develop completely new talents or interests. However, you will have a level of awareness that allows you to see things that were hidden before. Here are some insights that will give you peace and inner fulfillment. You will notice and value meaningful coincidences. You will understand that there are no accidents in this intelligent system. You will realize that everything in your life has something to teach you. You will appreciate everyone and everything in your life. You won't have any doubts about the universal source of energy. You will know that all beings are part of it and get support from it. You will understand that all weakness and falsehood come from refusing to acknowledge this. You will feel loved. You will seek and accept divine guidance. This vital spiritual nourishment will be felt in both your inner and outer experiences. Immobilizing fear will decrease as you feel the presence of divine energy within you. Everything will seem as it should be, even if you don't fully understand it. Your desires to correct wrongs and fix the broken parts of your life are also part of this divine plan. You pursue these desires to serve God and humanity with clarity and peace. By focusing your inner energy on the beauty around you, you will draw that energy from your surroundings. With practice, this receptiveness will become a source of strength and sustenance in your daily life. You will come to understand that anything harmful to one person is harmful to all. This higher awareness will lead you to realize, as Mahatma Gandhi did, that God has no religion. This understanding will fill you with a loving energy that can help bring people together. You will form a new understanding of reality. When your soul becomes the guiding force in your life, you will break the usual agreement with reality, both intellectually and physically. Your awareness will shift so much that you will no longer feel limited by the way most people see reality. You will experience surrender and acceptance, finally stopping the fight and simply letting go. You will trust that God knows what she is doing. This process of surrender will make you more effective in your sacred quest. You will become a waking dreamer. Everything you can achieve while dreaming will become possible while you are awake. The power of your mind to manifest what used to only happen in dreams will become your awakened reality. Some people spend their whole lives learning to become waking dreamers, to literally be in a dream state while awake. With your heightened awareness and the guidance of your higher self, you will become one of those waking dreamers. As you focus on fixing what is broken and serving a higher purpose, you will find peace and clarity. This will draw positive energy to you, making you stronger. Recognizing that harm to one affects all, you will embrace Gandhi's idea that God transcends religion, fostering unity through love. Your new understanding of reality will free you from conventional limitations, allowing you to surrender and trust in the divine plan. This surrender will enhance your spiritual journey, enabling you to become a waking dreamer who turns dreams into reality. With heightened awareness, you will achieve what was once possible only in dreams, living a life guided by your higher self. You will come to understand the power and joy found in silence. As Herman Melville wrote, "Silence is the only voice of our God. All profound things and emotions of things are preceded and attended by silence." You will realize that every problem has a spiritual solution. Issues like addictions to drugs, food, and alcohol can be resolved through connecting with your higher self. By looking inward, you will see that seeking satisfaction from external sources is a poor escape from worldly pain. When you begin to experience the highest levels of joy and contentment by focusing inward, your desire for external things will fade away. Every problem, whether it's in relationships, finances, health, or self-image, can be solved through your sacred self. When you are at peace, embrace silence, meditate, and truly listen to God, you will be guided away from worldly concerns and towards the divinity within you. You will know what actions to take. You will shift from wanting to acquire things to wanting to share. You will desire less but feel more fulfilled. You will turn your attention away from yourself and find joy in helping others. You will live authentically. You will accept yourself, recognizing that your past behaviors, even the destructive or immoral ones, were part of who you were then and held important lessons for your growth. You will be able to confidently say, "I am what I am." Although some people close to you may struggle with this, you will no longer compromise your true self. You will become less judgmental and more forgiving. You will start to realize that judging others doesn't define them. It defines you. As a result, you will be less inclined to judge anyone or anything. You will also begin to forgive yourself, seeing mistakes as lessons to learn from. This self-forgiveness will free you from the burden of self-criticism. You have made the decision to be free. So far, I have described the sacred quest and how it will feel when you change your life. The following section offers suggestions for daily practice. These exercises will help you with this transformation. Each day, try to serve others in some small way and keep it to yourself. Remember this ancient truth and reread it daily. When you seek happiness for yourself, it always eludes you. When you seek happiness for others, you will find it yourself. Practice creating meaningful coincidences. Get a clear picture in your mind of something you want to happen in your life. A job opportunity, meeting your perfect partner, quitting an addictive behavior. Keep your inner focus on this picture and extend love outwardly as often as possible. With this picture in mind, stay aware of your inner world where you do all your living. With this awareness, you will begin to know your divinity. From this awareness, you will be able to co-create the world you desire. Have private conversations with God. In these conversations, instead of asking for special favors, affirm your willingness to use all your inner strength to create solutions. Take time to appreciate beauty. Try to remove all enemies from your thoughts. Think of yourself as limitless as you make a new agreement with reality. Picture yourself able to accomplish anything your mind can envision. Allow yourself the freedom to dream of flying, shape-shifting, practicing bilocation, disappearing, and reappearing. Create your own understanding of reality based on what you truly desire. Let go of asking, "Why me?" Embrace your dreams while awake. Allow your mind to imagine everything you can dream of, just as you do when you're asleep. By practicing this, you will one day blur the lines between your waking dreams and your sleeping dreams. Give yourself time for silence each day. This could be a form of meditation, or simply allowing yourself some quiet moments. Spend at least 30 minutes each day in silence. Imagine a spiritual solution to your problems. This means viewing your emotions about the problem as just energy. As you observe these emotions, they will begin to fade away. Your feelings of sadness, anxiety, and fear will dissipate just through the act of observing them. As you become less emotionally attached, the problem will slowly disappear and the solution will appear. A spiritual solution involves detaching yourself from the outcome and seeing the energy as flowing through you. By observing this energy, you separate yourself from the pain. Compassionate observation releases the problem. Lighten your load. Starting today, go through your possessions and share what you no longer use with others. You can do this with everything you own. Focus on being content with who you are, rather than trying to please others by being someone you're not. Tell yourself, I am what I am, and it's okay as long as I'm not hurting anyone else. Direct your attention to what makes you happy. Do not judge others. These are some suggestions you can work on daily as you begin your journey toward your sacred self. You have the ability to face this challenge, but before you're truly ready, you need to examine many of the habits you've developed over a lifetime. These habits are often influenced by your ego and the material world around you. Since you were born, you've been taught many beliefs about what you can and cannot do. Now it's time to let go of those beliefs that once served you, but now hold you back from following your true path. Think of the process of letting go like taking exams in school. Just as we need to pass exams to move to the next grade, we need to pass life's tests to grow spiritually. When we pass, we move to the next level. If we don't pass, we repeat the lesson until we understand it. Sometimes it can take many years or even a lifetime to learn a spiritual lesson. You might find yourself repeating the same behaviors over and over without realizing what life is trying to teach you. For instance, you may go from one bad relationship to another, always finding yourself with partners who dominate or take you for granted. Or you might stay in a job that doesn't satisfy you, repeating the same mistakes and frustrations. You could even find yourself repeatedly getting sick with the same kinds of illnesses. Understanding these patterns is the first step toward breaking free. Once you see them for what they are, you can start to change and grow. This process of self-examination and letting go is crucial for moving forward on your sacred path. People who successfully embark on a spiritual path are living a life they love and feel productive because they understand that life's patterns are trying to communicate with them. They recognize that these situations are like exams. If they keep responding in the same way, they will not get different results. They decide to pass the exam by responding differently this time. To progress to the next level in this journey called life, you have to pass the tests along the way. Holding on to personal history can keep you from fully experiencing the present. This might seem like a radical idea, but consider the possibility of letting go of your personal history and living entirely in the present moment. You might think this is impossible because you have memories and it's part of who you are. However, I'm asking you to develop a forgettery to complement your memory. Being tied to your past means you're often influenced by others' expectations and experiences. To move forward on your sacred quest, you need to reject the notion that you can't take those steps. Let go of all beliefs that convince you of your inadequacies and limitations. Clear out the mental clutter of outdated ideas about what you can and cannot do. Open yourself up to the present moment. Be like a blank slate, free from imprints or projections. It begins with no. It ends with now. There is no guilt in erasing your personal history. There is great love and respect for all that you have learned up until now. But now is blank and most important. Open to all possibilities. No restrictions, no limitations, only the willingness to experience God in the entire divinity of the universe within yourself. Your life is no longer constrained by what you've known as your personal history. Your individual soap opera has received its cancellation notice. In the instant you let go of that personal history, you become eternal. You always have been, you always will be. Finally, you are working on answering the question, who am I? Your answers no longer need to be confined to the labels that defined your body and life experience. Your personal history has tried to convince you that you are one or several of the labels you have been assigned. Ultimately, you adopted these labels as your identity. In the process of erasing your personal history, you need to remove all these artificial labels. Here are some things that you are not. You are not your name. The label that is your name originated long ago, often based on the work of your ancestors. Your name was given to you to help distinguish your body from others, and to give people a word to use when they refer to you. But don't for a moment think that this is who you are. Indeed, it is who you are not. You are not your body. Notice how the previous sentence uses the phrase your body. This implies that the body is something you possess. You are the possessor of the body and the invisible force behind the body, but you are not the body itself. The body is merely a collection of raw materials, including bones, muscles, blood, iron, calcium, and skin. As you review your personal history, you will find many moments where you were taught that your appearance defined you. Many of us were taught to spend hours worrying about posture, physique, skin, hair, weight, height, and so on. But this is your false self at work. You own the body. You are not the body. You are not your mind. Just as we say your body, we also say your mind. This means there is an owner of the mind. You think thoughts with your mind, so there are the thoughts and the thinker of the thoughts. For most of your life, you've been taught that you are your mind, and you've spent time training your intellect, attending classes, and identifying yourself with what you know. But as you leave your personal history behind, you will also leave behind the notion that you are your mind. You are not your occupation. You are not an engineer, teacher, secretary, or shopkeeper. These are roles that the invisible, divine you has chosen to fulfill your mission while you are here. The more your job defines who you are, the harder it becomes to know true freedom and truth. Identifying too closely with your job can keep you from connecting with your higher self. Since your job often dominates your life, letting go of your personal history means shedding the idea that you are what you do. Remember this logic. If you are what you do, then when you don't do it, you aren't anything. Make every effort to remove these labels from yourself and understand that you are not what you do, nor are you the doer. You are the one who watches yourself. You are not your relationships. The love energy between you and those close to you is very important, but it is not who you are. You are not your country, your race, or your religion. Let go of these labels and you will connect with the realm of the spirit rather than the world of the ego. When you do this, you are no longer willing to fight. Your ancestors fought to influence who you should hate and who you should love. You don't need to follow the old belief that you're better than others because of your birthplace or skin color. Your personal history taught you these ways, but you can let them go. Stop identifying with labels and see yourself as connected to all people. Differences in appearance or location don't matter. It's time to recognize and let go of beliefs and opinions that don't fit your new understanding of reality. Look at your deep-seated beliefs and shift them. Your personal history is full of beliefs that shape your view of reality. These beliefs explain why your life has unfolded as it has. Decide to remove beliefs that don't match your new reality. You will need to identify and change these core beliefs. You might wonder why we hold on to unwanted beliefs. Ramana Maharshi, a 20th century Indian saint, said that pleasure and pain are just in the mind. Our true nature is happiness, but we have forgotten this and imagine otherwise. The body or the mind is often seen as the self. This mistaken identity causes a lot of suffering. So, what can be done about it? This way of thinking has been around for countless lifetimes and has become very strong. It needs to be removed for our true nature, which is happiness, to shine through. These are the words of the great saint, Ramana Maharshi. This recording may help you find an answer. Ramana Maharshi asks, what can be done? Here are some common and deeply ingrained beliefs taught in Western society. Look at how each of these core beliefs affects your own life. Then consider some of the suggestions I've given. By doing this, you will be rewriting your agreement with reality and possibly finding your own answers to the question, what can be done? Remember, your life is all about gathering energy. The more beliefs you remove from your inner self, the more space you make for new energy. Ask yourself if these beliefs are ones you want to keep or let go of. Keep in mind, if these beliefs don't serve you, they are like lies that never die. As Mark Twain famously said, The difference between a cat and a lie is that a cat has only 9 lives. Here's the first belief you need to get rid of. More is better. Always wanting more keeps you stuck in a life of constant striving. It is impossible to strive and enjoy life at the same time. Some signs that more is better has become a central belief in your life are: 1. You feel you must always be busy to be fulfilled. 2. You believe you need to make more money than you currently do. 3. You think you need a promotion to prove your worth. 4. You feel you need to have more of everything. To change this, you need to stop constantly pursuing more and understand that you don't need anything else to be free. The belief that more is better keeps us focused only on the physical world. This means our spiritual self is ignored in our daily lives. Our inner energy is spent on gathering possessions, achievements, rewards, approval, and money. Some people feel guilt, shame, and self-criticism when they think they are being lazy or worthless, and they feel irresponsible if they are not constantly striving for more. We learn this way of thinking early in life. Starting in school, we are taught to chase higher grades, more diplomas, and prestigious titles. There is no peace in this endless pursuit. True peace comes when you turn away from the idea that more is better. This feeling of peace signals that your spiritual self is trying to guide you. As the ancient philosopher Euripides said, the good and the wise lead quiet lives. The pursuit of more is not bad in itself, but it prevents you from finding the peace and harmony essential to your spiritual journey. You do not have to stop being active to find peace. You can let go of the idea that more is better and replace it with inner serenity that does not rely on having more. You have inherited beliefs from countless people before you, but you can choose to create your own path to peace. For generations, people have willingly held on to these beliefs. When you let go of them, you will create an inner space that allows you to gather a different kind of energy. This new energy will guide you toward peace instead of chaos and stress. Take a close look at how much of your life energy is spent chasing things you don't really want or need. Try practicing the idea of saying no to more, one day at a time. Say a firm no. Decide not to pursue that new item. Instead of chasing after more, spend quality time with your son or granddaughter. Read the New Testament instead of seeking out another object. Take a long walk along the riverfront instead of trying to get ahead. If you were raised to blame others, it's a habit to use excuses to explain why things aren't working in your life. You might blame a lack of prosperity on external factors like your culture, the stock market, politicians, your parents, bad luck, or the greed of others. You might blame illness on heredity, flu season, or environmental bad luck. Sour relationships can be blamed on your partners, their inability to love you, your upbringing, or your parents. You might attribute your personality to your parents, genes, childhood, siblings, or birth order. Your physical appearance might be blamed on genetics, food manufacturers, advertisers, or pollution. This list of potential blame is endless. The alternative to blame is self-responsibility, becoming a person who directs their own life from within. You might not have been taught to do this, but it is possible to learn. Consider taking responsibility for the events in your life. If you keep blaming others, you won't be able to start your sacred journey. When you feel like someone else is responsible for your circumstances, take a moment to say a prayer of thanks for the lesson. The lesson is to realize that you are the one experiencing the feeling. You can do this as soon as you notice yourself blaming others. Feel thankful towards those who have made you angry. Give inner thanks for the reminder that the feeling you're experiencing is inside you, not outside. Say to yourself, I do not want to be right. I want to know the truth. I want my higher self to lead. No one is to blame for how I am feeling. It is my feeling, and I respect that. These kinds of affirmations will guide you towards self-reliance and the sacred journey. Your spiritual soul will then become the guiding light for the rest of your time in the present. Another belief you need to let go of is the idea that idealism can't coexist with realism. You might have heard people say things like, "Don't be such a dreamer, be realistic. Forget about your inner vision. Look around at what is happening. This is what is real. If you've heard these kinds of statements often, you probably developed an attitude about what is possible and what is impossible. If the ideals that attracted you were labeled as impossible, you likely gave them up for a view of the world based on what others decided. It's important to challenge this belief and understand that you can hold on to your ideals while still being realistic. This balance can lead to a more fulfilling and meaningful life. Letting go of that old belief about reality can be a major step on your sacred journey. Are you ready to reconsider your view of reality? Maybe William Blake's words will inspire you. He said, "If the doors of perception were cleansed, everything would appear as it is, infinite." Can you imagine your reality in that way? Everything infinite. When your perception expands, nothing is purely real or imagined. Everything is perception. With this awareness, your reality is no longer just the physical world. At the smallest quantum level, time isn't real. Particles can exist in multiple places at once, and they appear and disappear based on how we observe them and the tools we use. This understanding creates a new reality. Remember, we are made of the same energy as these particles. If you want a richer life experience, let go of the idea that reality is only what your senses tell you. Your inner world and the energy of your higher awareness create a reality very different from what you've been taught. In this new reality, your higher spirit, the loving presence within you, is in charge. In this world, you rely on something beyond ordinary reality. Choosing the path of the sacred quest means learning to trust this new reality. Return to being the idealist who once had a sense of the spiritual world. That idealist within you is still there. Embrace it. By doing this, you will discover a deeper, more meaningful existence. You'll see that your true reality is shaped by your inner spirit and higher awareness, not just by the physical world around you. This shift will lead you to a life filled with peace, fulfillment, and a sense of connection to the infinite. Buddha suggests we should 1. Rely on the message of the teacher, not on his personality. 2. Rely on the meaning, not just on the words. 3. Rely on the real meaning, not on the provisional one. 4. Rely on your wisdom mind, not on your ordinary judgmental mind. Here are some suggestions for letting go of strict realism and embracing idealism. First, trust your intuition. From now on, define your own reality based on your inner wisdom. There are no limits within you, and your inner world will guide your direction. Second, revive old beliefs. Make a list of things you believed in before you were told they were impossible. Write and draw about these early beliefs to re-energize them. Third, experiment with your new reality. Visualize what you want to happen or who you want to connect with. Meditate on these desires manifesting in your life. Track the little things that lead to their realization. Over time, you will see that your reality becomes one where you are a co-creator. Fourth, reconnect with your ethereal body. As a child, you were aware of a second aspect of your being which can be called your ethereal body or double. As you grew older, you lost touch with this energy body. This doesn't mean it's gone. Your physical body is just one part of who you are and is neutral by itself. It cannot bring you peace or turmoil on its own. It is almost impossible to connect with your higher self if you only believe in your false self and the material world. Deep inside, you know that the material world is actually made of energy. This energy seems solid to your eyes and other senses, but if you look closer, you'll see that it's made up of tiny particles dancing in vast empty spaces. And if you look even closer at those particles, you'll find even smaller particles dancing in more empty spaces. This goes on until there are no particles, just energy. This is our true reality, but we've been taught to believe that what we see with our eyes is the only reality. Your body is part of this limited perception system that you have accepted. Your goal is to break down the barrier between your physical self and your higher self. When you do this, you will experience the unimaginable. Here are some suggestions for letting go of the belief that only the physical world exists. 1. Open your mind. Be open to the possibility that other dimensions of reality are available to you. Tell yourself that this is possible. Before the microscope, people didn't believe in microscopic life, but those tiny creatures existed regardless of human belief. They exist now on your skin, in your eyes, fingernails and hair. All the things you think are solid are full of invisible activity. 2. Embrace your energy body. Understand that you are both an energy body and a physical body. Your double, or ethereal self, wants to connect with you. Our education focuses on sensory experiences, making us think we are separate, unique, and disconnected from each other. However, the truth is that everything is linked, including you, to all other beings. Discard the belief that you are separate from everyone else. By doing so, you'll develop a deep respect for others that will grow into love. When we stop thinking in terms of us versus them and recognize that we are all part of one group, we create a win-win relationship with life. Practice letting go of your ego's need to feel separate from others. Start seeing yourself as a member of the human family called us. Share what you have with others, including neighbors and strangers, as if they were part of your own family. Remember the English proverb, "The hand that gives gathers." Treat everyone as if they belong to the tribe you love. Don't focus on their differences. Carry an inner determination to see others as spiritually connected to you, just like your child or spouse. Create an affirmation that expresses this idea, such as, "You are my brother, my sister, you are part of my us, and there are no more thems in my life." You may have been taught that some people are bad and should be ignored. I suggest the opposite. Everyone who enters your life has value. Even those who challenge you, the petty tyrants, are as divine as those who support and encourage you. Ralph Waldo Emerson taught that the whole course of things teaches us faith. This means that everything and everyone that comes your way has a lesson to offer. Another belief that you need to discard to get on your sacred path is that goals are essential for your success. I am convinced that there is a formula for failure, trying to please everyone and ignoring our own inner impulses. However, I do not believe there is one single formula for success. Living a spiritual life does not mean setting goals and following them rigorously. The way of the sacred quest is different. This difference is beautifully expressed in a stanza by Rumi, a Sufi poet who lived 1,000 years ago. He said, "Do you think I know what I am doing? That for one breath or half breath I belong to myself as much as a pen knows what it's writing, or the ball can guess where it's going next." As an instrument of God, you are always in the presence of loving guidance. With this inner awareness, you will not lose yourself or become a homeless beggar if that is not your sacred path. You will know your purpose, pursue it with enthusiasm, and trust the universe to handle the details. This kind of awareness has led me to work harder, produce more effectively, and feel more purposeful, not because of goals I set, but because of trusting and being guided. I truly identify with Rumi in this regard. I have never known exactly where I am going. I quiet myself, listen, and allow myself to be guided. Having goals is a way of abandoning the present moment in favor of some future plan. Not having a lot of specific goals helps cultivate the awareness that you are not alone on this journey. You begin to trust in divine guidance to assist you in the present moment. You come to understand that the universe will handle the details if you surrender and let go. Now, how do you release the importance of goals for success? Be willing. This is the most important suggestion I can offer. Be willing to do whatever it takes to turn your inner knowledge and future pull into your reality. Relax about the future and let it go. Instead, make an active commitment to enjoy this day a little more. The more peaceful you are with yourself and your role here, the more productive and efficient you become. It is very difficult to accomplish anything when you are stressed over the outcome. When you relax and find peace, you become inspired and efficient. Toss out the rigid goals and live your life knowing that you are co-creating it. One belief that you should consider letting go of is the idea that you always need to do your best at everything. We often hear people say, "It doesn't matter how well you do as long as you do your best." However, if you think about it, you might realize that this idea is not always helpful. You don't always have to do your best. In fact, it's impossible to know what your best really is. Trying to always do your best can drive you to extremes and make you anxious. Saying you must do your best every time leaves no room for improvement. It means you have to give 100% effort in everything you do, which is exhausting. When you stop feeling the need to always perform at your highest level, you also stop needing to compare yourself to others. Instead, focus on simply doing and enjoying your activities, and be open to learning. Don't push yourself or your children to always do your best. Try doing things that come naturally to you, and don't worry about measuring how successful you are. When you meditate, imagine yourself doing anything without worrying about the outcome. Notice how peaceful you feel when you're not being judged or tested, just being yourself. Give yourself this same freedom in your everyday task. Another belief to reconsider is the idea that dreams are not real. Most of us were taught that there are two separate realities, waking reality and dream reality. In this view, when we dream, we are in an unreal world, and we often ignore our dreams as something that only happens when we sleep. We see our waking life as real and our dream life as unreal. I suggest you rethink this belief. Imagine that your dreams are just different parts of the same reality you experience when you're awake. Think of them as teachers guiding you on your spiritual journey. Start by understanding that our world is mainly made up of energy and only secondarily of physical objects. To truly know your spiritual self, you need to be able to sense this energy directly, and this is something you can do while you are dreaming. When you dream, your way of perceiving things changes, from seeing solid objects to sensing energy shapes. When you see your dreams this way, you realize that your dream state is something you share with other spiritually aware beings. Over time, you can learn to recognize that you are dreaming while you are still in the dream. This is known as lucid dreaming. In lucid dreaming, you can control your dreams and experience being awake within the dream. By dreaming, you can sense other layers of reality that are usually hidden because of how you've been conditioned to think. I'm not talking about interpreting what your dreams mean, but about being aware of your dream life and understanding that you are experiencing different dimensions of reality while you sleep. These experiences can also become available to you when you are awake. Remember, your dreams are created by the same body and brain that you use when you are awake. Just like everything else in your world, your dreams belong to you. You don't leave your brain behind every night to enter a new reality. Everything you can know and believe in your dreams can also be experienced in your daily life. Yes, this idea may seem extreme, but it highlights the power of your energy body. When you enter your dream world, you do so without any doubts about what you can experience. Without doubt, there are no limits. When you wake up, you have the same body, brain, and senses, but you start to doubt what you can do. I believe that your dreams don't just reveal things about you, they are a part of you. They are real and can help you reach your highest spiritual self. When you go to sleep, remind yourself that you are entering your dream state and be happy about it. This awareness is the first step towards higher consciousness through dreaming. As you fall asleep, tell yourself that you're about to dream and that you will be aware of it. Before you drift off, try to see elements of your upcoming dream in your mind. Decide to notice an object, a room, or a specific location in your dream. Focus on the details of this object while dreaming. If it's a lamp, for example, use your mind to bring it closer. Notice its color, shape, and the intensity of its light. By doing this, you connect with your energy body, the special part of you that always exists alongside your physical body. Examining the content of your dreams will help you access this higher energy. You'll prove to yourself that you can control your mental energy with practice. Eventually, you'll be able to tap into this energy at any moment in your life. In the beginning of this audiobook, I said about the ideas and opinions you've been exposed to that have likely shaped your life. Many of these ideas, given to you by others, may now be your reality, defining what you believe is possible or impossible in your life. I've encouraged you to let go of many of those beliefs and to create a new understanding of reality based on what you know to be true for yourself. When you discover your personal truth, your reality will be free from doubt. You might think doubt doesn't have much impact, but it deeply affects your belief system. It becomes so ingrained that it feels impossible to think differently. When we doubt our potential, we declare with certainty what is possible and what isn't. But when we eliminate doubt, we unlock a knowing that leads to creative and inspired solutions beyond what we thought was possible. Imagine if you had grown up in an environment without doubt. How would your life be different if you had never heard phrases like, "It can't be done," "That's not possible," or "Accept your limitations"? What if you had been encouraged to use the power of your mind? You might have explored your ability to influence other people, objects, the weather, and your own creativity. If you had been raised without doubt, you would have an incredible inner sense of your magnificence. You wouldn't say things like, "I'm not talented enough," "It can't be done," "Get real," or "There are limits to everything." Your sacred self knows no doubt, no limits, and no boundaries. What would our world be like if we had learned this in childhood? But true understanding or knowing comes from within. We have many beliefs about ourselves, the world, God, our potential, and more. These beliefs often come from outside influences and eventually become our own. However, our true knowings come from personal experiences when we choose to go beyond those beliefs. No one can give you a knowing. It comes from your direct inner experience and decisions. In a crisis, beliefs can let you down, but knowings will never fail you. When you believe something without truly knowing it, there is always some doubt attached to that belief. This doubt stays hidden deep in your mind and can surface when you try to act on that belief. Imagine you believe that God will support you in a moment of trauma and that any suffering you experience is just as divine as any joy. If you only believe this because someone else told you, and you don't truly know it for yourself, then in a moment of pain or disappointment, you might feel that God isn't really there for you. Your belief can be shattered because it was not a knowing from within. William Blake wrote a poem that captures this idea beautifully. Man was made for joy and woe, and when this we rightly know, through the world we safely go. Joy and woe are woven fine, a clothing for the soul divine. This means that knowings are woven into the fabric of our being and can guide us safely through life. If you truly know something about yourself without doubt, you will never be disappointed. Beliefs, on the other hand, always have a bit of doubt attached to them. They are mental exercises, while knowings are physical and part of your reality. You might believe you have no talent for art, but deep down, there might be a small doubt about whether that belief is true. If you were to try creating art, you might find that belief was wrong. When you know something, it becomes part of your physical reality, and you act on it all the time. When you only believe something, whether positive or negative, that tiny bit of doubt can become your reality. Beliefs can limit you, while knowing can empower you. Many of the beliefs you hold now were once met with resistance or discomfort. There's an old saying, "Fear knocked at the door and faith answered, and no one was there." Fear comes from doubts about our true nature. The cure for fear is faith. I know within myself that I am never alone. I know I have divine guidance available to me at all times. This inner knowing makes fear impossible. You too are never alone, and you also have constant guidance available. When you truly know that a loving presence is always with you, the possibility of living with doubt and fear disappears. This knowing is something you must discover within yourself. It can't be given to you by another person. Once you have this knowing, fear vanishes. Many common fears can be explained away through lengthy research and investigation, or they can be eliminated with one simple statement. I have chosen the second way, hoping to stun you with the simplicity of eliminating fear. Here are some common fears and how to overcome them. 1. Fear of failing? Get rid of it. You cannot fail at anything. Everything you do produces a result. What matters is what you do with those results. Labeling yourself a failure is meaningless. 2. Fear of disapproval? Get rid of it. You do not need external validation. You are a divine creation of God. Your path is unique and special. Focus on your purpose. 3. Fear of suffering? Get rid of it. You cannot suffer when you know your true self. Only the person you imagine yourself to be suffers. Both your joy and suffering are divine. All woe is part of God's plan, bringing wisdom when you stop judging it. 4. Fear of isolation? Get rid of it. You can never be alone. When you know this, you will never fear loneliness. There is a vast network of loving souls on similar paths. Know this to be true. Stay focused on your purpose and you will feel the guidance and love you need. 5. Fear of looking foolish? Get rid of it. When you are doing the work of your higher self, you are always on purpose. Whether others judge you as foolish or not is irrelevant. 6. Fear of success? Get rid of it. Replace the fear with the knowing that you deserve any prosperity or abundance that comes your way. When you are on your sacred quest, external measures of success will appear. But remember that true success is an inner matter. It is your personal feeling about yourself, and you certainly do not want to be afraid of yourself. There are 6 fears that interfere the most with our divine purpose. Know that you possess the inner tools to transform your life, and the fear will disappear before you can say, get rid of it. One of these inner tools is to acknowledge when fear enters your life. When you notice yourself experiencing fear, gently allow it into your awareness. Feel it and refuse to judge it. By acknowledging fear and doing what you're afraid of anyway, you challenge self-defeating thoughts and take a big step toward banishing doubt from your life. Fear and doubt are partners. What you doubt will cause you to be afraid, and what you fear creates doubts about your ability to handle it. Faith is the antidote to fear and doubt. Usually, when people talk about faith, they associate it with religious beliefs. Faith and worship often go together in this context. I'm not talking about faith in this way. I respect whatever your religious beliefs are, but I want to separate religious faith from the actual presence of faith. Faith, as I describe it, is like knowing God, which is different from just believing in God or knowing about God. The kind of knowing I am talking about is a deep, personal experience with no doubt attached to it. To me, faith is an inner knowing and the ability to see God in everything, including yourself. This kind of faith does not come from books. It doesn't need a religious service or a holy text. It comes from having a direct inner experience of God as part of your higher self. This faith is demonstrated in countless ways in daily life. You do not need to see this inner light with your senses to know it is there. You know that what you do not see is still present for you. Understand that faith is a decision you make inside yourself. It is a mental choice to know that everything happens for a reason. Faith then becomes an energy that lives within you all the time. This whole planet, with everything on it, must weigh an unimaginable amount. Yet some energy is moving it around the sun, creating the illusion that the sun is setting. But in reality, it was the earth moving, not the sun. The huge amount of energy constantly working to move this massive planet, keeping it spinning and on its path around the sun each year. The same energy moves the sun in a larger orbit and moves countless other celestial bodies in their orbits. This energy makes it seem like the earth is standing still, even though we know it's moving. We have faith in that energy. We trust that the sun will rise in the east tomorrow. We don't just believe it, we know it and have faith in it. That same energy is guiding you through your life and is within you at every moment. It allows your lungs to fill with air, your heart to beat, and your body to stay together rather than falling apart. You know this energy is there. You have faith in it. This is the same kind of faith you need to develop about your entire life. You are being guided by that universal energy. Start to know it. You don't need to see it to believe in it, just like you don't need to see the wind to know it's there. This invisible energy doing so much is what you want to understand. Inner faith becomes a power that was hidden from you before. I've seen people walk barefoot on red, hot, glowing coals for up to 40 feet without getting blisters. Before they do this, they are trained in nothing but faith. Their faith gives them the ability to concentrate so intensely that their feet don't blister. Inner faith can bring the people and events you need into your life. It works. However, this doesn't mean that obstacles won't come up too. Here are some specific suggestions for removing doubt from your mind. Remember that doubt not only stops your sacred quest, but can also harm your everyday life. Make a decision to connect with the invisible God within, the loving presence, so that you will truly know the God. This involves being willing to spend time in the inner silence of your being. Set aside time and space each day to quiet your mind and listen. Do nothing else but this daily. Remember, doubt comes from your ego. It is not part of your higher spiritual self. With this understanding, you can learn to observe your doubt rather than letting it control you. Make a list of the beliefs you still hold on to that no longer serve you. Writing them down will help you see how unreasonable it is to cling to beliefs given to you by others. As you examine your beliefs, notice how many start with should and shouldn't. These phrases likely come from your earliest training and may take up so much space in your mind that you don't have room for new knowings. Always keep in mind that doubt is a mental experience. If you want a thought to disappear, you can simply send it away at this moment. Just as you can choose not to think an unpleasant thought because you control your thoughts, you can also get rid of doubt. When doubt appears, say to yourself as if you were two people, one talking and one listening. I have this doubt because I have accepted the beliefs of others. Now I will think for myself and know that I do not have to live with doubt. Love is the best antidote to fear and doubt. When you feel unconditional love for yourself as a divine creation with a purpose, you let go of all doubt and fear about yourself and your place in the world. So, when you experience a moment of fear and doubt, give yourself a dose of mental love and remind yourself that you are a holy creation. As you practice sending yourself love, you'll find that it becomes what you can give to others. Also, the more love you have inside, the less room there is for fear and doubt. Getting rid of doubt in your life forever will help you connect with a mysterious power that was hidden before. I encourage you to let go of the doubt you have been nurturing and embrace a new sense of knowing. Thank you for listening.